Alright. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tells No Tales. Need be a fifth movie. Arr. Alright. What do I think of it? Well, first of all, you probably want to know what I think of the previous entries in the series, being that my, full review on the entire series is no longer up. First one was an unexpected hit, despite low expectations, being that it was based off a Disney attraction, but surprisingly, yeah, it was a huge success at the box office, critics-wise, and fans loved it. So, the anticipation for a sequel was pretty high, and yeah, most of the sequels in the series were kind of mixed, for the most part. And they are entertaining to watch, especially the second one, but they do go on longer and longer as they made more. Well, at least with the second and third, being that they're both directed by the same director. Second one, obviously, is darker, and the design on Davy Jones is really good, but there's a lot going on in it, and it can get confusing, even with the third one especially, which it pretty much hints. It goes the Lord of the Rings route and decides to do both sequels back to back. And the third one is even longer than the second, even more confusing, but I think it ends on a pretty high note with some terrific action. So, like the second one, great action, but kind of a confusing, all over the place plot, which does take a lot of rewatching and a lot of following. So, not an A-plus film like the first one. Not that the first one was A-plus. I mean, it's a great time. It has a great twist, but the second and third are a mixed bag for the most part. And the fourth one, kind of the same thing, even though without Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley, it's what you'd expect, like the second and third, but maybe a little more forgettable for the most part. Obviously it hinted it at the end of the third one, even though it's a different director, and it was entertaining, but again, kind of forgettable. And this one, more or less the same thing. Now, might as well get to the plot. This time around, it's obviously involves around Poseidon's trident. Everyone's trying to get their hands on it, so yeah, there's a treasure to be found and discovered. So, the runtime, thankfully, like the fourth film, it is cut down a little bit to about a little over 2 hours. To start with, yeah, it is a little bit dark at the beginning especially, and thank the Lord, Jack Sparrow, played by Johnny Depp, is back, and he's just as funny and goofy as ever. Some may say he was a little bit dumbed down in comparison to the first couple of films. It's kind of arguable to some sense. Obviously, it also revolves around Will Turner's son. Spoiler alert, I should probably mention ahead of time before starting this video, but yeah, there is to be some spoilers, so you may not want to watch the rest of it. But otherwise, yeah, Will Turner obviously has a son, if you remember at the post-credit scene in the third movie. Obviously in the beginning he starts out as a kid, and yeah, it was a little strange at first, how he just goes down into the water, and yeah, it pretty much explains the whole thing, that he wants to break his father's curse, and how everybody is after the trident for their own different reason. And obviously with Jack Sparrow, he's trying to get control of the ocean, and obviously another Spanish pirate, I forgot what his name was exactly, is trying to get revenge against him, because it shows the whole backstory behind how he takes him out and pretty much gets him, killed in the Devil's Triangle, and involves around the whole compass that he owns, and obviously Barbossa's back and trying to get it. So yeah, it's a bit of a twist to the plot, but it's kind of easy to follow, but some of the scenes do sort of drag on a little bit. You do have a lot of stuff with the Port Royal, British Army trying to get the pirates annihilated, and of course you got this new character who they think is a witch, but really she's just an expert on the whole seas and trying to find where the trident is because she has that special book. So yeah, obviously, like I said, it's a lot going on in the film, and just like the sequels, it may be a little bit slow at some parts, but there's a lot of good action to make up for it. I think the effects are really good, especially on the dead pirates that try to come back and get Jack Sparrow killed, as vengeance. I think the one awkward scene in this movie is with the when he's on Hangman's Island and that weird wedding scene. Yeah, that was just a little bit out of whack, I have to say. I mean, anybody, I'm sure, can agree with that one. The effects, especially at the end with the water, when they find the trident. So, yeah, this is some heavy spoilers right here, but I'm not going to go much further with spoilers. But all I can say is, yeah, the visuals are great, some of the humor is great, but like I said, it's like any of the other sequels. It's entertaining at some parts. It has that great soundtrack again. I'm not sure if Hans Zimmer came back to do it or not. I forgot, actually, but yeah. for the most part, it works out pretty well. You don't really see Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley that much in this movie. It's more or less just a quick cameo towards the end. But I think it all works out pretty good. May not be the best in the series, but I think it was pretty entertaining. I'm glad I watched it at least once. Yes, there is a post-credit scene, but I'm not going to really give too much away, but I don't think it's really needed to sit through. It's like most of the other ones in this series, but yeah, it's kind of funny how pretty much every single one in this whole series has a post-credit scene. So, I didn't see it in 3D, I saw it in regular IMAX 2D. I don't know why they're really doing this, putting it in regular 3D, but maybe I'm kind of glad I sat out on 3D. But all I can say is, yeah, I think Disney did a pretty decent job. Just a decent sequel, nothing too much out of the ordinary. Glad to see Jack Sparrow back. Just a good fun time. So, yeah, playing two weird remotes up. Not exactly a big treasure like the first movie, but it's entertaining. So, till next time, keep watching.